The Cold War, a period of political tension between the US and Russia, began primarily due to the disagreement in ideologies, Europe's reconstruction, and Germany's fate. As Russia began to spread communism over Europe by targeting different nations and implementing puppet governments, tensions between the US and Russia began to rise, ultimately leading to the Cold War and the rush to prove technological superiority over the other, one being the competition in space known as the space race. The US officially entered the space race in 1958 when NASA launched Explorer 1, which was the first satellite to reach orbit. However, at this point, Russia had already accomplished this in 1957 and had sent a dog named Laika into space. With the US trailing behind the Russians, John F. Kennedy in May 1961 proposed the idea that the US should claim leadership in space by launching a man to the moon and back, claiming that because that challenge is one that we are willing to accept and one we are unwilling to postpone and one which we intend to win and the others too. With that, the goal of reaching the moon before the Russians was put as one of the nation's top priorities. In July 1969, Apollo 11 was launched following various test launches, sending a team of astronauts into space with the famous Commander Neil Armstrong in front. On July 20th, 1969, Apollo 11 landed on the moon, and on July 24th, 1969, the crew returned safely to Earth, becoming the first people to ever walk on the moon and return home safely. With the space race slowing down following Apollo 11, both the Russians and the US signed an agreement in May of 1972 to future space cooperation. Overall, the US spent about $30 billion on the space race. However, the pros outweigh the cons, as Apollo 11 is regarded as one of the most influential events in history. Apollo 11 enabled new knowledge of the world and space, the victory over the Russians in the space race, and a great sense of national accomplishment. Thanks for listening.